Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Friday, and that means tonight was Friday Night Smackdown. Now, I gotta say it, as far as tonight's Smackdown does go, it was just an alright show. Like, it was okay. I don't know what to say. Nothing really, like, super pulled me in. I was enjoying watching the show. It wasn't like at any time I was like, man, this sucks. Man, I'm going to turn this off. Man, this is crap. And I think one of the things that may have hurt it was the crowd was just okay. And you have to think about this. There's a good chance a lot of these same people are going to be at the show tomorrow night for Saturday night's main event because it's both in Salt Lake City. So hopefully the crowd's better tomorrow for Saturday night's main event than they were for tonight's SmackDown. That's the thing. That's the thing you got to look at. I don't know why they were just an whatever crowd. Like, you're paying, go to this show, and you're not even going to really respond much. You're not really going to be interacting with, be an interactive crowd, I guess you would say. Again, it was just there. The crowd was just all right. So, yeah. Decent SmackDown, just all right. Before the go home to Saturday night's main event, if you didn't know that tomorrow was Saturday night's main event and you didn't watch the main event segment, the contract signing with Cody and Drew, you may not even know tomorrow was Saturday night's main event. Because, like, what do we have on that show? 3-4 things? Let me see. Saturday night event, November 1. Like, I know we've got the world title, the WWE title, the women's title, but what else do we even have on this show? That's the big question here. I know of 3 matches, and it can't be just 3 matches. So let's go and check the card for this show. November 1st, Saturday night's main event. That's right. I forgot the triple threat with Dom, Penta, and Rusev for the Intercontinental Championship, which that match should actually be pretty damn good. That should be a pretty dang good match. So we'll see how it all does play out. But as of right now, Salt Lake City, you didn't give me high hopes for a good crowd for Saturday night's main event. You didn't. Also, you guys noticed they changed the graphics for Saturday night's main event. It's no longer like, so before, the TV graphics and the social media graphics were all similar as far as they were like throwback graphics to the 80s. Well, they've still somewhat got the same feel, but they've updated them for TV, and they're completely different for social media, which has always kind of baffled me why WWE always does for shows 2 different sets of graphics. They've got a TV set and a social media set, which is always kind of weird. Why you gotta have both? Why do we need both? But hey, to each their own. They got enough graphic designers. It's not like my work where I'm the only graphic designer. So, also working on a cool commercial for my company and their weight loss program. Oh, this has been an experience with, because they said, and I'll just say it real quick, AI, we don't need to hire talent. We don't need to pay an actor to be in the video. Just use AI. Make it all with AI. And like, A, sure, I guess, not my first choice, but B, I've learned a lot about like AI prompting and certain words that work better than other words, and like grabbing the thesaurus. I will say that, grabbing the thesaurus, where you got one word, you put it in the prompt, it makes an image in a video for you, and it's like, that's not quite what I wanted. Then you figure out which word needs to be changed, but to a word that still somewhat, for the most part, means the same. Grab that thesaurus. So yeah, interesting stuff there. But just a so-so SmackDown. I will say that. Just a so-so SmackDown. And don't get me started on them making Tommaso Ciampa look like a big-ass goob. And I don't care what you say. We came back down after and beat up Frazier. Yeah, no. He looked like the biggest fucking loser goob. And we'll get into all that here in a moment. But first, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any. I thought I heard something over there. I got the baseball game on. Any Twitch channel you want to support throughout the month, and I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. Help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know when we go live, when we post new videos, and when we post to the community tab. Also, remember to help us out by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. Being a channel member is a great way to support the channel, keeping all these different lights on everywhere. And you get a badge next to your name, emotes and emojis, and access to our graphics packages. And also, be like Jack Dawson and donate a super chat watching on YouTube. Jack says, keep up the good work, Tim. Your graphics are good. Plus, do you see Bliss and Charlotte holding on to their titles till Mania? And sad Seth is out for a while. One question, one sucky statement. Not sucky on your part, sucky on what happened. Yes, Seth Rollins was on Good Morning Football today. He came in for Halloween dressed as the Chicago Bears bear, sling and all, and unfortunately did give the news. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be out of action for like 6 months, which means that he might miss Mania. 6 months is April. Now, Mania is when in April next year? WrestleMania 42. WrestleMania 42, April 18th and 19th. I mean, it's going to cut it close, and I don't know if there's enough time to build Seth up for anything at Mania. Now, maybe, he heals really well, does better in his rehab, and he comes back in March. Then there is time to maybe set something up. Or they just save Seth for the Raw after Mania. So we'll play it by ear. The original plan for Seth Rollins was for him to hold the world title all the way to Mania and defend it against Roman Reigns. Now, we know that the angle that they did when Seth got hurt with the Vision attacking him, taking him out, and beating him up was supposed to happen after WrestleMania. So if that was supposed to happen after Mania, whether that was the Raw after Mania, a couple weeks after Mania, one would assume maybe that the plan could have been for Roman Reigns to beat Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And that's when the Vision goes, oh, he ain't good enough no more. Beat him out. So I don't know. Sucks for that. But as far as Charlotte and Bliss holding the titles till Mania, probably not. If it was up to me, Survivor Series, I'd switch those titles to the Kabuki Warriors. Now, I don't know if the Kabuki Warriors need to go on a big, long run, but Asuka and Kairi have been killing it. And so give them the tag titles. I mean, Asuka's the best female they got right now, probably from a character standpoint. She's just been killing it since coming back from the injury. She's great in the ring still. Like, she hasn't missed a beat. So I would go Kairi and Asuka taking them titles. Whether that is at Survivor Series or the December Saturday night's main event, we'll see. But I think one of those shows we do a title change. I think we do a title change on one of those shows sooner rather than later because they're already building up. Asuka and Kairi, they challenged first before Bayley and Lyra. They were all mad that Bayley and Lyra jumped them in line. So we'll see how all those play out. But with that, also remember, guys, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by heading over to the Epic Games Store. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Starting tomorrow. You heard me right. Starting tomorrow, Simpsons in Fortnite. And not just Simpsons in Fortnite. Fortnite is being transformed into Springfield. Everything is animated in the Simpsons animation style, in the look and feel of the Simpsons. When you start a match in Fortnite, in the Simpsons, it says the Simpsons in the clouds, and the camera flies through the O in the Simpsons. Well, we're doing that in Fortnite. The battle bus flies through words that say Battle Royale every time you start a match. Oh, hell yeah. So awesome. So cool. I can't wait. And if you're going to get into this season, you're going to get the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass will give you Marge, Homer, 2 different versions of Marge and Homer. You get a regular Marge, you get a regular Homer, you get a witch Marge, you get a devil, evil Homer. You get Flanders, you get skiing Flanders. If you remember that, you know what I'm talking about. You get the three-eyed fish, 2 different versions of that. You get Peely in the style of The Simpsons. And I think there's one more skin I'm missing. There's a shorter season, so we're only getting 7 pages instead of 14. If you're getting any of this, or you're going to go to the store, and you're going to buy Mo Sizlak, you're going to buy Bart, you're going to buy Lisa, you're going to buy Krusty the Clown, you're going to buy Scratchy, any of those, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout to support us. And if you do, between today and Monday, we actually get even more in rewards. We make more through our Epic Games code, our creator code PW Unlimited over this next weekend. They're doing I think 3 times creator payback deal. So very cool there too. So if you guys are getting that battle pass on day 1 tomorrow for Simpsons, please use our code PW Unlimited. Our Smackdown does go though. See different people walking into the building. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and Jade Cargill. She dresses the Punisher. We then recap everything with Jade last week and Tiffany Stratton. Jade turning heel and attacking her. Michael Cole and Corey Graves then to welcome us to the show before they were interrupted by Tiffany Stratton. Excuse me. Stratton demanded that Jade Cargill come out and fight her now. She doesn't want to wait till tomorrow. And out comes Nick Aldis and says, no physicality tonight. You guys will fight tomorrow. Just wait. Cargill appeared as GM Aldis had security come out to prevent any physicality. She said that she tasted her own blood last week and it only made her hungry to become the WWE Women's Champion. And I go, no, you didn't. There's no blood last week. That was like a month ago. Whenever Nia busted you open, which technically it wasn't even Nia's fault. Nia threw, and I talked to an indie wrestler about this. They were like, no, Nia threw her fine. It was Jade that didn't protect herself. That's why Jade got busted open. Because Jade took a bump into the steps and didn't protect herself. Jade didn't take the bump properly. Like, don't blame Nia. Nia did nothing wrong. So, anyways, Cargill vowed to end, she called it tappy time, tomorrow night here in Salt Lake City. Stratton tried to come at her, but security held them all off. So, yeah. I mean, the match should be all right. Maybe better than all right. Maybe it won't be a great match. I'll say it should be a good match, though. It should be a good match, but nothing that I'm like, oh my God, I got to watch the show for this match. You know what I mean? Moving forward for the U.S. Title Open Challenge, Ilya Dragunov comes out. We then get the music of Fraxium. Fraxium make their way out. Nathan Frazier ready to fight, but then Ciampa's music hits, and Ciampa storms down to the ring. And I'm like, oh, triple threat? Triple threat. No. Dragunov takes the mic and goes, this is an open challenge for anybody to come out, but Frazier was here first. Sorry. And I'm just like, what? They made Ciampa look like the biggest freaking goob. They made Tommaso Ciampa look like such a goober. Coming out here and saying, I want a challenge for the title. And Frazier's just going, no, what are you doing? And then Dragunov having to go, I like challenges, but he was here first. Like, are you kidding me? And I get it. Afterwards, DIY come out and they beat ass. And it looks like we're going to get a tag match, DIY and Axiom. Maybe even a triple threat. You add somebody on the DIY side and you have Dragunov with Fraxium. Probably not. I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of what they did to Ciampa here. They literally made badass Ciampa look like a weak little goober nothing. Like a, sorry, boy, it ain't your time kind of deal. But as far as the match does go, really good match. Really fun, fantastic opening contest here. So once everything started, Dragunov struck Frazier in the corner and found himself floored with an enziguri. The two go back and forth for a while, and then at one point, all of a sudden, Ilya is bleeding from the forehead a little bit. After a commercial break, Dragunov connected with repeated German suplexes on Frazier. He managed 2 before Frazier landed on his feet on the 3rd. Frazier then leapt off the middle rope with an amazing reverse DDT, followed by a shooting star press for a near fall. At one point, after another commercial break, Dragunov attempted a powerbomb, but Frazier managed to stun him with a kick. On the top rope, Frazier had Dragunov set up for a Frankensteiner, and after a little struggle, Frazier nailed it. And Dragunov was on, back up pretty quickly from this. He then, there was a Phoenix splash that got a 2, and Dragunov barely kicked out. The two keep battling for a while. Frazier tried to go to the top rope again, but the U.S. champion dropped him with a knee, which then let him connect with a middle rope suplex. Frazier miraculously kicked out at a 2. There was another war of attrition, both men just going and going and going and going and going. Dragunov then his finish on Frazier, get the power bomb and the H-bomb, and picked up the victory. 1, 2, 3. Dragunov is still your United States champion. So he wins. The two embrace afterwards. Frazier gets out of the ring, and boom, there's Ciampa on the attack. Axiom comes out to make the save. Johnny Gargano then comes out to help. Then freaking Dragunov gets involved, and they're all fighting at the bottom of the ramp. Also, speaking of the bottom of the ramp, did you guys notice the stage was different? The stage felt like the 2019 SmackDown stage, but without like the riveted brace bar deal. Because we used to have, back in 2019, it used to be like there was 2 sets of screens, kind of. And it was like a flat panel, and then there was 2 angled panels out. And that's what we had tonight. But it was more like the bottom was the flat panel and the angle. And we had like SmackDown graphics on that. Then there's like a riveted bar that goes around it, and then just a screen above. Sometimes they would air the match. Sometimes it's just a SmackDown logo. But then that was flat. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. I like this. In buildings where we don't need, maximum seating, where we don't need seats behind the stage, give me this one. Granted, it's just a screen, and there's no depth or deviation of that's the bottom part of the screen, that's the top part of the screen. But hey, it's something different. And then they had like an aisleway that had like cobwebs and it was like a guardrail looking thing, but it was like skeleton hand or skeleton bones or whatever it looked like. Anyways, changed it up a little bit for the stage and the setup. I like that. But yeah, everyone's brawling afterwards, and it just kind of led to nothing. Oh, excuse me. So backstage, Fraxium and DIY were still brawling after the break. Dragunov then basically he dropped the U.S. title. Tama Tonga picked it up. Dragunov then looked at him. He took the title and went, yee! And then handed it back to Dragunov. So Tama Tonga getting a title shot next week. And I'm like, okay, it was cute when Tama Tonga first came in. He was just this unhinged wild man with Solo Sikoa. But if you guys have followed anything of Tama Tonga in New Japan, you know this guy can cut a hell of a promo. You know this guy is a tremendous talker. This guy is amazing on the mic. And what do they do with him? He's just Donnie fucking Thornberry. He's just Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. If you don't know what I mean, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Bassist, I want to say. He plays the bass, I think. I don't remember. But one of the guitar players. He's the voice of Donnie Thornberry. And that's all Tama Tonga is. Tama Tonga, to me, is a top tier, top level, can be in there with Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes having bangers. But no, they got him as Solo's sidekick, or one of Solo's sidekicks, doing the Donnie Thornberry. Like, no. We all always theorize. Guerrillas of Destiny come to WWE. Tama Tonga gonna be a star. Nope. Tama Tonga just a dude. Don't get me started on JC Mateo. This guy, don't even get me started. Top guy in New Japan. Just like when Bronson Reed went to New Japan and he was Jonah, like him and JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb, they were like on the same level. Not quite at the very tippy top, not quite Okada, Tanahashi, Ospreay, but right under that. I like it. Like if this is your world title picture, these guys were right there. Jeff Cobb, and my mind's Bronson Reed with Tama Tonga. Even at times, Tama Tonga never going for the world title, was still like when he was leader of the Bullet Club, he was right up there. He was right up there. But anyways, it's like you see what these guys did in New Japan, and they were top guys there. And granted, that's another company with different guys and different management, blah, blah, blah. But then like they go to WWE, or in Bronson Reed's case, come back to WWE, and it's like Bronson Reed gonna be something. They're doing the slow burn with him and Braun Breaker, so you can't really say much about him. But it's like JC Mateo and Tama Tonga. What are we doing? And Tonga, Atala Tonga, still doesn't have a superstars page. What are we doing there? This man still doesn't have a superstars page. I can't get a proper render. I gotta go DeviantArt and find someone that's properly picked one of his old New Japan renders out. So, yeah. Now I'm ranting for Rand, but it's like these guys could be doing so much better. Like literally, Tama Tonga could be U.S. champion and kill it. Intercontinental champion, kill it. Now, I don't know if he can be WWE champion, world heavyweight champion. At least not right now. But easily US or IC. Like, I think the world of Tama Tonga. I've always been a huge Tama Tonga fan. Like, I, for a long time, was like, man, this guy's the Randy Orton of New Japan. Like, I've said that multiple times about Tama Tonga. This guy's the Randy Orton of New Japan. Just the same kind of, like, confidence. Can do anything in a ring. Never looks bad in a match. Unless he's really got, like, the shittiest of opponents. But, like, rarely ever looks bad in a match. Cuts great promos. Like, that's how highly I've always been on Tama Tonga. I've always compared him to Randy Orton. And not just because they both got the RKO kind of move, the stun gun and the RKO, the cutter. But anyways. Moving forward. Kit Wilson versus Carmelo Hayes. Not much to this match. Basically, this was just a match for Carmelo Hayes to win and Miz to try to screw him and then attack him afterwards. That's really all it was. Wilson got the advantage early on with the flying elbow to Hayes. Ooh, excuse me. Flying elbow to Hayes as he pulled at his head and then stomped on the back of the head. Wilson hit a swinging DDT. Hayes fought back with a chop, followed by a Hurricane Rana. Wilson retreated from the ring, but then got dropped by a vaulting press from Hayes. Outside the ring, Miz then came out of nowhere with the referee distracted and threw Hayes into the ring post. This allowed Wilson to temporarily get the advantage, but not really do much with it. Hayes eventually hit him with the first 48 and picked up the victory. The referee raises his hand in celebration, and boom, there's Miz. Skull-crushing finale. Skull-crushing finale. Nothing to write home about with any of this. They're keeping the Miz, Carmelo Hayes feud going. Sure, fine, whatever. But the match was just there. Nothing special. We go in the back. Sami Zayn has to have the Motor City, said he's going to have the Motor City Machine Guns back. But Nick Aldis told him, you need to stand down. You ain't good right now. Cody Rhodes then showed up, had some words of encouragement for Sami Zayn. I guess they're playing. I don't know if Sami's really hurt or anything, but they keep playing up that Sami's not cleared. I don't know. Rose, where was I? Yeah, Cody had some words for Zayn before Mr. Aldis asked Rose bluntly if he had something to do with the attack on Jacob Fatu or knows what happened to Jacob Fatu. And Cody's like, I know you've been working hard trying to figure it out, but I had nothing to do with it. And he was then asked by Aldis if he read the contract. Cody goes, I don't need to see the contract. All your contracts are the same. WWE title match. Yep, I'm good for Saturday Night's Main Event. Let's sign that contract later tonight. Really, again, another nothing happened in the segment. Then we had Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. That's just fine. It was your standard Alexa Bliss Nia Jax match that we've seen 100 times. Even at WrestleMania. When did they have their Mania match? Was that New Orleans 38? Maybe? 34, I mean. Not 38. 38 was freaking Dallas. Might have been. Because I just remember Alexa coming down on the podium thing. Anyways, I don't need to sing Alexa Bliss's theme song here. Jax got a cheap shot in early on Bliss while she was conversing with Flair, kind of going over her strategy. Jax then crushed Bliss in the corner. She held the upper hand to start things off. Jax then missed an elbow, which gave Bliss an opening. After a commercial break, the match continued, and Bliss dodged a running hip strike in the corner. Bliss chopped away at Jax's leg and kept her grounded with some kicks to the head. Jax then ran into the steel post, and it stunned her. Bliss headed up top, but was caught with a Samoan drop by Jax for a near fall. Bliss was then dragged into the corner as she was in the drop zone for the Annihilator. But Charlotte Flair jumped up on the apron to cause a little bit of a distraction. This led to Bliss dropping Jax and picking up the victory. 1, 2, 3, there we go. Again, nothing special here. It's basically our typical Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss match, and not even one of their better ones. So yeah, Bliss gets the win, where Charlotte kind of cheated to help. She didn't really hit or touch or do anything to Nia, but she jumped up on that apron to cause a distraction. So the partner on the outside came into play for the babyface. Just saying. Just saying. Rey Fenix is in the back. He challenged Solo Sikoa to a match, and instead Solo said, "Now you can take on the big guy, Tala Tonga. You think you could do that?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I can." And he like slaps Tala Tonga across the face, and all the MFTs are like, "Oh shit!" So yeah, they then showed us that WrestleMania 42 poker game that had no cards, a poker game with no poker cards, no playing cards. That's all weird. That's all weird. Damian Priest then said that Aleister Black will feel his punishment soon enough. He'll feel my punishment. Cool. Sure. So then we had, they ran down the card for Saturday night's main event, and then we went to the MFTs versus the Motor City Machine Gun. It was JC Mateo and Tama Tonga against Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. Again, not a bad match. Like, nothing wrong with this match. Very good, solid wrestling. But it was just your standard TV tag match. Where it's just like, hey, go out there and have a good match. You don't need to kill yourselves or anything, but just go entertain the crowd for 8-10 minutes. So early on, the Machine Guns did have the upper hand. There was a double team assault that kept Mateo and Tonga on the losing end and on their toes for a little bit before a commercial break. When we returned from the break, Tama held Shelley in a rest hold as the MFTs held the advantage here. Shelley escaped with a flatliner to the middle turnbuckle to Mateo, which allowed him to hit a big splash on Sabin, or big tag on Sabin, who hit a splash and a couple clotheslines and got the hot tag, I guess you would say. Sabin was a force to be reckoned with here, taking down both Mateo and Tonga. Shelley then eventually came back in and cleared everybody with a suicide dive. Solo Sikoa then distracted everybody, allowing Tonga to dump Shelley off the top rope. Tonga Loa, not Tonga, Tama Tonga. This followed a not so hidden blade from Tama Tonga's cutthroat. I guess they call it now the cutthroat. He does like the hidden blade, but he called it the cutthroat. Anyways, the MFTs pick up the win. Nothing special. So Sikoa had the MFTs attack the Motor City Machine Guns afterwards. Rey Fenix and Shinsuke Nakamura would run down to make the save, but fell victim to the numbers. Fell victim to the numbers. Oh, I missed something. I didn't write in the notes. There was a Chelsea Green segment. So Nick Aldis is in the back with, and I'm trying to remember this off my dome. Kiana James and Julia are in the back. They're talking to Nick Aldis. Chelsea Green then walks up and she goes, "It's 9 days, Nicholas. We're 9 days away." And he goes, "All right, Chelsea, get to the point. Explain what you're talking about. 9 days of what?" She goes, "Till this woman, Julia, causes a travesty. I'm the longest reigning, greatest, most dangerous women's United States champion of all time. But in 9 days, she's going to be the champion longer than me." And Aldis is like, "Okay, and?" she goes, "I want a shot at the title to try and get it back before she breaks my record." And he's like, "Chelsea, this title's been around for what, a year? That's not how this works. You don't just ask." And Julia goes, "No, I defend this. And I defend the honor," or something like that. Basically, she said, "You think I'm going to beat your record? I am going to beat your record. But you want to try and stop me? Sure, I'll take you on next week." But then when, she says, "I'll take you on next week," Chelsea goes, "Cool, I got a title match." And Nick Aldis goes, "Fine, whatever." Literally, "Fine, whatever." Then they announced 3 matches next week and not this match. So is this match not happening next week? We know that there's a men's U.S. title open challenge. We know that Charlotte Flair will take on Nia Jax, and Tala Tonga will take on Rey Fenix. But as far as all that goes, no women's U.S. title match announced here on the official graphic announcements. So I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here. Are we getting the women's U.S. title match or are we not? But then that leads us to our main event. It leads us to our main event segment, actually. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre with the contract signing here. So it's your standard contract signing. You got the GM in the ring. He calls out both men, and they're, oh, you're going to sign the contract, make the match official for tomorrow. And Drew looks over the contract. Well, actually, he opens it up, looks at it, and goes, nope, boilerplate contract. I ain't signing that. And all this, like, what do you mean I'm not signing that? Cody goes, hold on, give me it. Signs the contract real fast. Goes, Drew, sign this. And Drew's like, no. And Nick Aldis is like, come on, we're not playing these games, Drew. And Nick's like, Drew's like, I'm not signing the contract. This is not fair. I get DQ'd. I get counted out. Cody retains the title. Okay. But Cody gets DQ'd. Cody gets counted out. He still retains the title. It's a one-sided deal. This man's going to get himself DQ'd again to hold his title, to keep his title when I'm about to beat him. It's not fair. So I ain't doing it. And Nick Aldis is like, are you kidding me? Fine. You don't want to sign the contract? You don't get the match. I'll go in the back right now. And of the dozens of men back there, I will find somebody else to come out here, sign this contract, and face Cody Rhodes tomorrow for the title. And Drew goes, all right, do it. I'm out. And he puts the mic down. Cody gets up as Drew's leaving the ring, and he goes, Drew, wait. And Drew's like, oh, what, Cody? What? And so Cody's like, hey, I don't want this either. I'm not going to take the easy way out. You know me, but I understand your frustration, this, that, so forth. And Cody's like, you know what? Let's do it. If I'm counted out, if I'm disqualified, title changes hands. Plain and simple. I understand. He's like, I understand. I get it. All this is like, Cody, you do understand what this means, though. It's you do know what you're doing, right? And Cody's like, yeah, Nick, let's do it. And so McIntyre was like, oh, okay, fine. All right. But you know what? You're only here because of what I did. You're only here because I left this company, went to the Indies, made a name for myself, and got called back. You followed me. I'm the real American dream. And so Cody goes on his little rant here, and he says a bunch of things, and then goes, but there's, you did start a blueprint. You did create something of how to get back to WWE once you're out of the company, how to prove yourself on the Indies and get called back. But there's one big difference between you and me. When I felt like my time here was running out, when I felt like that I was just sinking in the ship, I had the balls enough to leave. And he looks right at Drew, walks around the table, gets in Drew's face and goes, and what happened to you though? You got fired. Basically saying, hey, I left on my own accord to go make a name for myself and prove to these blokes why they should have been pushing me all along. You got fired. You had to get fired to have that fire lit under your ass. I lit that fire under my own ass. McIntyre again then whined and cried and said, oh, yeah, whatever, Cody. Oh, hold on, wait. You know what? I'm just going to beat your ass tomorrow. And your daughters, what are their names again? They're going to watch and see this happen to you. And Cody gets all pissed off and he goes after Drew. And they brawl for a moment. Drew gets dumped out of the ring. Cody and Nick Aldis are now talking. Drew jumps back in. Cody shoves Nick Aldis out of the ring, takes a big old claymore. And eventually Cody gets powerbomb through the table. And there we go. That's how SmackDown goes off the air, with Drew standing tall, talking trash as he put Cody through a table. No chance Cody loses the belt tomorrow. I don't think there's a chance in hell. Like Cody loses that belt tomorrow. But with all of that, that was Friday Night SmackDown. That was Friday Night SmackDown. And just got a notification. Oh, yeah, there you go. Dodgers win it. We're going to a game 7 in Toronto tomorrow. Friday Night's main event's got to go up against a game 7 World Series. Oof. And that's on Peacock. Oof. Corey says Blue Jays will win tomorrow. Believe that. I don't know. These two teams are very evenly matched. We'll see how it blows. There's a big sports day tomorrow, not just all the college football, but then we've got the final race of the season championship race for the Xfinity Series. We've got Saturday night's main event, and we got a Game 7 World Series. Plus you got NBA, plus you got hockey going on. Damn, tomorrow's a packed loaded day. But if you got YouTube TV, you don't got ESPN or any of the ESPN games on ABC. Can't watch that damn Longhorns game. Can't watch College Game Day if you have YouTube TV. Because Disney said, we want more money. Pay us more money. Son of my gun. Son of my gun. Gotta find other ways to watch that Longhorn game tomorrow. Anyways, you know what I thought of Smackdown? It was a show. It was all right to good at best. But I want to know what you guys thought of tonight's show, what you guys thought of tonight's Friday Night Smackdown. So let's go refresh everything. Check the polls. Let's go check the polls. It should be like a graphic that pops up and says, check the polls. It'd kind of be cool. That'd kind of be cool. Also, shout out, Time. Corey Heim, Craftsman Truck Series champion. This fucker went 7 wide on an overtime restart. 7 wide. Because this man who dominated the season, 12 wins, most wins in a single season in the Truck Series, dominated this race, said, ain't nobody stealing this win from me. No one taking my championship. Time. Anyways, as far as the polls do go, as far as the Threads poll goes, uh, 55% liked the show, 36% thought it was just all right, and 9% didn't like it. As far as the Twitter X poll does go, 70% liked the show, 20% thought it was just all right, and 10% didn't like it. Looking at the community poll, 80% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. As far as the live poll does go, 77% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and 9% didn't like it. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch thought it was just all right. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. We'll be back live tomorrow night for Saturday night's main event. We're going to crown ourselves the new World Heavyweight Champion. I'm saying CM Punk. Actually, let's do a little bit of predictions really fast. So we got the U.S. title on the line. Dominic Mysterio defending against Penta and Rusev. I'm going to say Dom retains the title. WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton defending against Jade Cargill. Title change alert. I think Jade is winning the belt. Jade is beating Tiffany. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre with the WWE Undisputed Championship on the line. Cody's retaining. And finally, with the vacant World Heavyweight Championship on the line, CM Punk versus Jey Uso. Clobbering time. CM Punk wins the title. Here's a wild off-the-wall prediction. CM Punk doesn't only win the title. CM Punk gets help from Paul Heyman, joins the Vision, and has a new vision. Turns heel, and there we go. You just slide Punk into everything Seth was supposed to do. It's unconventional and not what the plan was. But here's the thing. Punk has said for a long time, I want one last heel run. Well, he's about to get to that point where even as a heel, they're never going to boo him. So if he doesn't now, oh, hell yeah. But we'll see how it all does play out. That's my off-the-wall prediction for Saturday night's main event. But again, I think Dom, Jade, Cody, and Punk all come out victorious. With that, guys, have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you back tomorrow for Saturday night's main event. Have a good one, guys.